Hey, got a new opening for the program today. It's pretty cool, Tony. Thank you so much. Pat Ziemer here with the MagnaWave office hours for this Tuesday. We're glad to be here to answer your questions, bring you up to speed on MagnaCon that's coming up. A lot of things happening. Alane with us this morning. Beverly's with us. Good morning. Thank you for being here. Northern Lights is with us as well. So we're glad that everybody's here and having a good time. And again, I'm here to answer your questions. If you'd like to give me a call, simply send a text to 502-414-3436. 502-414-3436. I'll call you back and we can have a discussion about whatever it is that you'd like to talk about. Always enjoy doing that because you get to go a little deeper into the topic at hand. So again, if you'd like to visit, 502-414-3436, and I will call you back and we can have a discussion accordingly. Okay, Dawn's with us, Maureen's with us, Tracy's with us this morning. Hey, Rebecca, Alicia, Robin, Leslie's with us. So great. Thanks for being there. Also, if you have a question, just put it in the chat box and I will certainly answer there as well. Look for a link in the chat box because I want to cover some things here on the trade-in program that Alane announced last week. So you'll see a link pop up in there shortly dealing with that. So let me go to the notes that we need to cover, a little housekeeping information here this morning that we can do. Okay. So here's the first thing is the soul is being added to the trade-in program, and there'll be a link into the chat area, and you can click that link, fill out the form if you're interested in doing something to get a newer model to upgrade if you have a soul or whatever you're interested in doing. So the soul is being added to the program if that is an interest of yours. Okay, the Whova app has launched for MagnaCon. As you know, MagnaCon's coming up in June. If you've purchased your tickets and you have information, logging into Whova in your email. So if you got your tickets, your confirmation email will give you the login information to Whova. In order to access, you have to create an account or log in using the email that you purchased your MagnaCon tickets with. If you log in and it asks for a code, then you need to log out, log back in and use a different email to make sure that you use the email address that you submitted when you bought your tickets. And then you can get into the Whova app and start communicating with the folks that are already there who are making plans to come. Perhaps you want to talk to somebody about rooms, or you want to make some plans for what to do while you're in Louisville. A lot of stuff to do this year. So that's a good place to go. So if you've purchased your tickets, go to Whova, log in, and you'll be ready to go. Also, because of that, the Whova photo contest has started. So upload pictures of you doing MagnaWave treatments on all kinds of photos, and the voting will start now so people can vote on the pictures that you upload of your treatments and what you're doing. So the Whova photo contest is beginning as soon as you get in there and start uploading pictures. The be voted on winner will be announced during MagnaCon, and the winner will receive a $250 MagnaWave gift card. So if you're photographic and you want to do some photos and enter the Whova MagnaWave photo contest, now's the time to get started. Okay, this is something kind of important for the week. Sunday evening, we're updating the website and relaunching the Practitioner Portal to make things much easier for you to use and how to interact with the Practitioner Portal on the MagnaWave website. So Sunday evening will be updated. So if you happen to be on the site Sunday evening, if you notice some things going on or glitches, it's because we're doing maintenance and updating some new information on the website. That's this coming Sunday evening. Okay, also, tickets are available for Alane's business class that starts next week in April. So you can, those tickets are available on the website as well in the Practitioner Portal. So if you have questions about that, you can also call the office and talk with Lee or Briley, and they can bring you up to speed on the business builder classes that Alane conducts each month. So that's getting ready to go. Let me come over here and see if we've had any questions at this point. Zionsville, good morning from Della's with us. Hello, Kristen from Massachusetts. That's pretty good. Learn more about the trade-in program. There it is. The link is in the chat box about the trade-in program if you have some questions on that. So if you have a question, put it in the chat box and I'll get to it. We'll be able to answer it and give you all the information you're looking for. And that's 5 minutes, and we've covered a lot of material. So put your questions in there. So we have a question from Laura. Has anyone heard the exogen ultrasound for bone healing? Would the PEMF work just as well at promoting healing of a fracture? Most certainly. The MagnaWave, the PEMF has been shown to be very beneficial for bone healing. In fact, the first device approved by the FDA as a PEMF device was a device for bone healing. And so the PEMF works very well in that area. Certainly ultrasound, the way they use that particular exogen device, they have a little ultrasound machine and they put a little a little head, if you will, where the site of the fracture, then they produce ultrasound signals to go to that area to help with blood flow and circulation and so on and so forth. Complementary, I think they'd be excellent together. And but obviously the exogen is an FDA cleared device for bone healing, and if that's what someone wants to do, that's fine. But you can certainly aid bone healing in your clients with the MagnaWave PEMF device. Great question, Laura, and I hope that helps. Nikki's looking for suggestions for a good company or individual who can design a logo. Well, Nikki, call the office, 502-742-7868 and 7868, 502-742-7868. That's correct. And talk to Chris in marketing, and he can help you with a logo or anything that you might like with regard to that particular aspect of your business. We provide a lot of services for our practitioners in that area of art and so forth. So that's one thing to do, Laura. Let's see here. Okay, question. I've been treating a puppy with bilateral luxating patellas and hip dysplasia for about 2 weeks, and I'm not seeing any relief. Is there anything I could be doing wrong? Could I be doing it too much for about 2 weeks? It depends on the severity, Stacy, of the situation and what's going on. I don't know how often you're treating. I would treat regularly if you could do that daily. It takes some time, and I don't know what strength you're using on your treatment. If you're treating low, it's going to take a little longer to potentially get some result, but it's hard to tell. Every animal is different, and in some cases you'll get a response immediately. In some cases it could take weeks worth of treatments to help things kind of fall in place, get the inflammation taken care of, and see some results that you're looking for. But again, it determines how severe it is, how long it's been there, and if it's been there a good while, then you're going to take a while to get some relief and go about it from that perspective. Good morning, Dee Dee. 2 times a day for 30 minutes each treatment is what Stacy's been doing. Stacy, what kind of intensity are you using? I don't think you would, if you want to do it twice a day, 4 to 6 hours apart, that's fine. But again, if it's anatomically caused and there's something else that needs to be done, then you're going uphill. But on the other hand, just be consistent and keep going. It could take some time, and certainly see how the veterinarian feels with where you're going and how it's progressing. We've had very good luck with dysplasia and types of situations over the years, but again, every animal is different and may require a different regimen to get the results that you're looking for. Good afternoon, Christine from Maryland. Would PEMF help rebuild bone with bone loss that occurs with periodontal disease? Well, if the capability is there for the bone to grow, then certainly the circulation and the oxygenation and the energy that can be applied to the body can be very beneficial for that. If it's serious enough that it's not capable, then that's going to be an uphill battle as well. But we've seen improved bone growth in hoofs and animals, and certainly it's helps bone healing. So there's always that type of situation that could be beneficial to the client. And so is it for sure that it's going to help? Again, every client is different and you need to approach it accordingly. But it's been shown to help the regeneration and the growth of bone if the capability is there for that to occur. We just simply set up a situation with the energy and the oxygen and the blood flow for the body to operate in the manner that it's meant to operate. You know, you cut yourself, it'll heal. The body's miraculous that cut will heal. But if it's dirty or you don't have good blood flow to the area, it's going to be harder to heal. So we want to set the body up so it's in a position to better heal itself. Great questions though. Let's see. Happy waving from Sycamore Animal Hospital. Hey, Sandra, how are you? Thanks for being here today. Sent someone this week. I had an opportunity to meet the people at the Bush Wildlife Organization here in Florida. They're building a whole new facility, a 15-20 acre facility right across the street from where we are in Florida, and it's going to be incredible. They take in exotic animals and all types of animals that are injured and help them recover and get back on their life to a happy animal life. And I met with them, and I sent them the picture of you doing the chicken, and sent them some of the eagle videos and a lot of different things, treating a bear and the snakes. And so I sent that information to them. So it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. But we're excited to maybe be able to work with Bush Wildlife Center here in Florida. That's exciting. Let's see. Stacy gets back. I turn it up just enough to see a bit of muscle movement. And well, Stacy, you want to, if the dog is comfortable, you can apply more energy. And the fact that you're seeing movement, maybe you just need to be a little deeper potentially with that particular treatment. So don't stop when you start seeing movement. Go a little bit higher and try to maybe put a little bit more energy into the area and cover a more broad area on the dog as you're treating for those types of situations. Let's see how it progresses. Let's see. Della, I just purchased an LZR and have been using it on myself and love it. I am just not sure how to explain it to people as to what it does. I've done the training on the device, just looking for actual verbiage for, say, how it helps migraines. Well, it's energy, the energy of light. It penetrates the area. It's very calming. It improves the blood flow to the area. And so if that's how you're using it is for migraines, it's been, lasers and light therapy has been around for years. And so you're simply using, that's what I'd say. It's FDA, this device is FDA cleared, FDA registered, the LZR is, and it's been used for years for various ailments and light therapy and laser therapy. And it's just very beneficial to put that energy into the head when you're treating for migraines, and very beneficial. And you can utilize it along with the MagnaWave to attain the results that you're looking for. Don't try to over explain it. Someone can experience it, put it on their low back or put it on their leg and let them feel it for a minute. As you know, it only takes a minute or two of treatments to get the result and to get the application of the light therapy, the healing light to the body as you're introducing it in that fashion. So just be simple, explain that light therapy is, but just kind of go back and look at your training, some of the things that were said in the training, how it helps. It helps improve a lot of different situations. I always like to take and I treat my forehead and my temples with the LZR just to get good light, good flow into my head to protect the brain, if you will. And then I follow it up with MagnaWave, and I like to use those in a very complementary fashion in that manner. So just be simple, be direct in what you're saying, be confident in what you're saying. It's enough to say that lasers and light therapy have been around and approved by the FDA for years, and this is what we're using it for and how it applies. And this particular device is FDA cleared and can be used for these things. That's all you need to talk about. Just be confident when you tell them that, and they can use it and utilize it and hopefully get the results they're looking for very quickly. Okay. Rainy Arizona. Oh my. Okay. Mary Beth's in the Smoky Mountains. Just include, include Illiposis love for puppy with knee and hip issues. Okay, there you go. There's another question. Lisa, I have a client with a horse in training, the 16-year-old gelding. His teeth are loose. Could MagnaWaving his jaw help? Well, it will certainly help the pain in the area. The blood flow could conceivably help the area be more healthy. If you're dealing with, how old is he? 16 years old. You know, some of this stuff is anatomical and the looseness is just there, but certainly to treat the area for good blood flow, good oxygenation to help it stay healthy would certainly be something that could be beneficial. It's kind of like arthritis. If you have a buildup in your joints of calcium and then your nerves rub that and the muscles become irritated, you have inflammation, you have pain, that's where it's coming from, the buildup of calcification in your joints and how that affects the nerves and tissue in that area. We can't get rid of the calcification that builds up, but we can help fight and ward off the inflammation in the area that will really relieve pain. So if you're using that on the joint of an animal or something like that, you're basically taking away the inflammation, allowing for them to deal with it. But the calcification is still going to be there, so it's probably going to potentially return. So when you talk about the teeth, to go on the animal to treat the area, to improve the circulation, improve the blood flow, make the area healthier, you can slow down any continued degradation potentially to the area. So you may not necessarily strengthen the area up, but you certainly can keep it from degrading further. And if you can do that, in a lot of cases, it takes on a healing type of result. So there you go. Great question, Lisa. Thank you. Victoria, Australia. Good morning, Janet. Thanks for being with us. Planning my itinerary for MagnaCon at the moment. Wow, coming in from Australia. That's pretty cool. We look forward, Janet, to meeting with you and talking with you at MagnaCon. I would love to help at wildlife and zoos. You know, and great question, Sandra. And we want to work farther in that area and perhaps getting in perhaps with Bush and using it there, and the organization as large as they are, and my God, the plans that they have for this facility they're building. And so that's what I'm working to do, is to work with the director, make some inroads there, certainly apply what people have experienced, and hopefully get them to do that at the Bush Wildlife Center, and then we can just move that right into the recovery and the wellness, wildlife and zoo areas around the country. You know, we've got more contact in those areas than we realize. We just have not always collected the data, collected the content, and prepared what we need. And we need to go a little further in that area. And so great question, Sandra, a great input, and we're certainly going to work towards that and maybe do some more of that. Hi from BK MagnaWave Performance in Morganfield. Is that Morganfield, Kentucky, Gary? Let me know. I just want to say thank you. Got my bourbon and book yesterday. Haven't had time to open either, but I'm looking forward to it. There you go. Got some bourbon and a book. That's great. I've had nothing but amazing experiences so far with both LZR and MagnaWave. Borderline miracle with dogs and horses. Gary, thanks again. Appreciate you sharing that with us. When treating someone with a pinched nerve issues, will PEMF help or aggravate? If you have a pinched nerve, if you got a pinched nerve on a dog or an animal or a client, and if it's pinched, it's inflamed, it's causing issues. Can you relieve some of that pain by improving the circulation and the blood flow? For sure. Can you change? I've had situations where I'm treating an animal and you can hear it pop out of where it's being pinched just by massaging the area basically with the PEMF and making everything better from that perspective. So I don't see that you're going to aggravate it. Now, that's certainly a situation that you don't want to pound on it with the device. So you want to have it at a moderate type of setting. Make sure you're getting good movement to the area and good flow to the area. And that's where you also might want to talk about, you could work with a chiropractor or with some doctor or whatever to go into those areas and manipulate to help things so they can become freer, unpinched, if you will, or clear the pinch. And that could all be beneficial. So take a look at what you can share and be beneficial with the treatments. Let's see. Vivian, me too. Took a dog that had been paralyzed initially to up and going. There you go. Let's see. Thank you. Antifibrotic. Oh, here we go. Where'd it go? Do you know of any antifibrotic that could be Sam up the calcification? I'm not totally clear on what that. I'll take a look at that. I'll pull that up and try to research it a little bit. I've got a splitter to use with Soul machine. I understand that the power is split between the two attachments. Typical. I treat horses 40 minutes with a single attachment. Would 30-minute sessions using splitter be sufficient for horses on a weekly schedule? Well, sure. I mean, you're using the Soul. You are going to see a decrease in power, but if you're using a splitter with 2 wave wings, you're not going to use all your power anyway. And so you could very easily do the shoulders and the hips or the top line of a horse with the wings very conveniently, and your time should be appropriate based on what you're doing. And I would say when I was on the road treating full time, 30-minute treatment was pretty much a full body treatment, just using a large coil or a butterfly. If you're utilizing the wave wings or those types of attachments that are available, you can, in some cases, reduce your time because you're covering such a large area and you're doing 2 sides at once, or however you're utilizing it, spreading it to do the whole top line, or if you're using 2, one on the shoulders and one on the neck, or one on the shoulders and the other on the hips. 30 minutes should be very appropriate for what you're doing. And just play with it and learn it, and you should be fine. Let's see. I had asked last week about treating a dog with IVDD. After 3 sessions, he's walking much better. And certainly when you have those types of situations, and we did, that's a disc issue. It's inflammation. It causes pain. It can interfere with the dog's gait. And so by treating them regularly and getting it to a point that, as we always say, treat as long as function continues to improve. And then once you hit a plateau, treat as often to maintain that plateau on the animal if you don't get complete reversal with something. Carly, great question. Hope that helps. Let me see here. Got a couple other questions. Well, let me go check the phone, see if anybody has chimed in to see. Let's see, transitions. There's a question. Oh, that goes back a few weeks. So no questions at this point. 502, if you'd like to visit with me, 502-414-3436, and I'd be happy to give you a call and discuss your situation. So don't forget, MagnaCon's coming up. Man, it's going to be incredible. The docs that we have coming, the practitioners that are going to be there, the areas of discussion that we're having, introducing some new equipment, some new things. So we're excited to be ready for MagnaCon this year at the Belvedere. It's going to be just amazing where we've got it set up to be doing the live demonstrations outside overlooking the Ohio River. Certainly we're hoping for good weather, and we should have good weather at this point. We've been checking the good old Farmer's Almanac to make sure that we've got that going on. Okay, so Leilani's talking about, she's got a large post there about using MagnaWave and CBD together. That's very beneficial to get some input there as a complementary methods to treating various areas of the body. Regarding MagnaCon, I have a guest coming along that is not a practitioner. Are they able to purchase tickets for the lunch, dinner, and excursion events? Thanks. And looking forward to MagnaCon. Actually, people come to MagnaCon who are not practitioners. Maybe they're looking to buy a machine for the first time. They want to come. They want to hear the speakers, and that is entirely possible. So if they're coming and they want to participate and come to the events, then most certainly they can get by coming. They can do everything that you would be doing. So that's certainly available. I understand that at some point they're going to, I believe, make some availabilities available for if someone's bringing their spouse and their spouse doesn't want to go to the conference and the meetings, but they're going to go to the pool or visit around town and you want them to go to some of the functions. We're working to make that possible as well. So look forward to seeing you at MagnaCon, and we're looking forward to the whole thing. Let's see, how many places on the body can you use the LZR in one day, such as for weight loss? Can you do stomach, arms, and legs in the same session? Sure. The secret with the LZR is that a minute or two pretty much provides the energy that you need for an area. Now, if you're talking about weight loss, you're going to come across the belt line, if you will, and go a minute going across the body, and then treat yourself with the MagnaWave for 5 minutes or so to get the lymphatic system going and to help clear out the shrinkage of the blood cells that you're working on. You can do the same thing on your legs. So it would be very possible that you might 10 minutes across the midsection, go down each leg in various areas to get it. What happens, it's kind of interesting. If you treat, for example, one area of your stomach, if you will, where you're working to use the LZR for weight loss, what it does is it takes the fat cells and basically makes them like raisins, shrinks them down to nothing virtually, that you can then help flush them out into the lymphatic system. Well, if you do that in one area, fat kind of goes, it moves. So if you persistently work on one given area, then you will affect all the areas around, because it will kind of disseminate. That's why you want to get on it and stay on it and do the whole body. But if you're doing just one area, you will affect other areas as well, just by the fact that the fat cells kind of move to where they can go, if you will. So the secret is to just keep doing it until you are able to get it down to the location and the amount of inches that you're looking to reduce in that fashion. Hope that was kind of clear. Let's see, email us at support for additional events. There you go. Support at MagnaWave PMF if you want to look at additional events or schedules, or getting some additional tickets for your guests. Support at MagnaWave PMF. Just worked my first event with my MagnaWave since getting it in October. Good morning. Okay, great. Megan, good. Do more events. Good morning from Louisiana. Melanie writes, can someone please post a link for the riverboat cruise? I can't seem to find it on the website. Okay, they will do that. Melanie, the riverboat cruise Friday night is filling up. We're going to have a country concert on Wednesday night. That'll be exciting. It'll be on the Belvedere outside of the Galt House. If it's raining, they got plenty of space. We'll go right inside and have the country concert on Wednesday night, and then the boat ride on Friday night. So it'd be a lot of fun, and we'll enjoy that a lot. Okay, let me check the phone here again, see if anything has come in. Nope. All right. Let me come back over here. If you have a question, put it in the chat box, and I'll be happy to. They just posted the link for the river cruise, so we're excited about that. Let's see. I may have a couple of questions over here that I haven't been able to get to. Looking to see if anyone had experience treating a horse with a P1 fracture. I know that I need to wait 10 to 14 days post-injury. The mare is 20 years old and had surgery last Thursday. She has 6 screws placed in the bone, looking for any positive outcomes. Mare will be retired, but just wanted to make her as comfortable as possible. And will it be okay to treat her leg due to the screws? To treat the leg with the screws, not an issue. You want to go in there and make it comfortable. The reason that we talk waiting 10 to 14 days on a fracture on a horse is because, and I'm going back 20 years here, we had some situations, people, how do I say this? Everybody wants the healing to occur as rapidly as they can. And so they'll go treat, they'll do a radiography, or they'll do an x-ray 2 weeks, 3 weeks down the road, and it may look great. And so they go back to work, and it was too soon. It's not fully healed all the way through the bone. So we always wanted to, we kind of took up the feeling and talked with doctors and veterinarians, let it begin to heal from the inside out first for 10 to 14 days. Then when you go to it and you begin to treat it, and then you treat it for 3, 4, 5 weeks, and you want to do a radiography or an x-ray at that point, and your results are going to be more accurate to what you're potentially looking for. So we always wait. On an animal, we suggest waiting 10 to 14 days. In this case, when the animal is going to be retired, you're not going to be working the animal. You're not going to be doing anything. You want it to get it to heal. And so it's got plenty of time to heal. It's got 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, whatever you want to do to give it to heal. But you want to provide comfort to the animal at this age. And they just did this. And that's not the situation that you're going to work it too soon. Treat. You can go treat the animal immediately after such surgery to help provide comfort and to help to potentially speed the healing process along in that case. I hope I was clear with you in why we chose to to recommend waiting 10 to 14 days on a working animal we just want it to start the healing process appropriately. You're not, by starting the treatment now, you're not going to change what's happening with the process. You just want to provide the comfort that will help the animal today, and that's a good thing to work in that direction. Okay, that's the only questions I had coming in here. Let me close this up. Don't forget the Whova app is available. Use the email address that you logged in with to purchase your tickets, and you can go to Whova app. I always struggle with Whova, whatever it is, Whova Duba, and come to MagnaCon. But you can go there and you can start interacting, asking questions, seeing what people are talking about, building communications for what you want to do and who you want to visit with downtown Louisville. It's going to be a great time, and we're looking forward to it. Okay. MagnaCon is amazing. My daughter is due to have the baby number 3 on June the 10th. Grandma needs to stay close. Online MagnaCon for me this year. Becky, those things happen, and you'll enjoy it, and maybe you'll be the winner. They're going to give a machine away to the people watching virtually, and so we're looking forward to that. Let's see here. Any other questions? No other questions there. Let me check my phone, see if we have anything. Nope, nothing on the phone. I'll keep going as long as we have some questions and stuff. But if everything is up to speed for today, then I'll let everybody get back to what they're doing and go from there. Let's see. Tracy Walker. Oh, congratulations on the baby. Absolutely. Baby number 3. That's really cool. All right. As I understand, wait a minute, where to go? Stacy asked the question, is the marketing support available to all of us who have purchased a machine and are working through certification? Most certainly. If you purchase a machine, you're working through certification, and you want to get your stuff in line as far as marketing and how to build your business and logos and flyers and all that stuff, come on down. And we have a great team of folks that are available to help you out, to answer your questions. Take Alane's business building class if you've not done that, or wait for a little period of time, get your feet wet, then come back and get some advice there on how you can help build your business and know how to communicate the message that you're wanting to get out to your clients. So let's see. Leilani, she's got her tickets for the boat ride, I believe. Ivy asked a question. Is it possible to carry a Semi-5 to Germany and Kenya? What kind of paper do I need to bring with me to the airports? Well, Ivy, you'd certainly want to make sure that you have identification of what the machine is used for. In other words, a brochure, it's a PEMF device. It's certainly legal for you to carry with you. It's not a problem at all. You can take it right on the aircraft with you as carry-on. I would recommend doing that. Either that or the Semi-5 is not really big, so you could put it in a box and ship it as luggage. So it's protected. It certainly would do that if you're going to pass it through as baggage. You do want to check the customs where you're going. You want to declare it in customs. Now, and there are some states or countries require that you fill out a form before going, because the challenge becomes, and it became that for me at one point. I went to Canada to treat an Olympic rider who pulled the groin, and I was and worked on his horses at the same time. I took my machine in. Everything was great, but when I wanted to come home, they wanted to know where it came from, how I got it there, where my invoice was. And so I didn't really register that properly at that time. So I've since learned, if you're going to another country, you want to make sure to declare it in customs. If you have a copy of your invoice that you paid for it, that it's your machine, that's valuable to have, and take that, make sure you're well documented and well covered with that. To take it is not an issue. The Semi-5 is a smart machine, so you should be able to plug it in wherever you go, and it will recognize the power source and operate accordingly in that process. So I hope that helps. If you have further questions, you might check with customer service, and they'd be happy to help clear your dark. But again, make sure you do the proper paperwork for customs, and make sure that you have identification on what it is and how it's used, and identification that it is yours, whether that's a bill of sale or a receipt. And if you need some of that, again, contact the office and we'll help you out there to make sure that you got the documentation that you need to travel safely and effectively with your device. Let's see. Regarding recert, if someone completed their initial certifications in November, will they need to restart again for this year? It's a year-long process. So if you got it in November and it will renew, or you would follow through with it next November. Teresa's not on with me. Teresa and Carson are not on with me today, but perhaps someone could ask them. You can certainly take what you gain from MagnaCon as an event to apply towards your requirements for next year, and which is going to be just a few months after the June event. So there you go. So it's very beneficial for you to proceed in that manner. Let's see. Are we able to drop off machine for maintenance during MagnaCon? Matthew, there is a procedure that we're doing. It needs to be shipped to the office by a certain date, which they'll post on here, or they'll get that for me. If you want to do that, if you want to drop it off, bring it in and drop it off. You want to make arrangements that you're going to do that. Will you be able to pick it up after MagnaCon? Probably not, because what's happened in MagnaCon's 3 or 4 days, we have people that bring devices in to be updated, changed, repaired, tuned up, all that kind of stuff, and all of a sudden we get slammed and we can't get them all completed in the amount of time that we have available to do that. So there is a way to do that. If you have a question on it, call customer service, talk to Lee or Briley. They'll give you the exact dates when it would need to be here, or if you drop it off, when we can return it to you, so on and so forth. But it is a great thing. If you're coming and you want to bring your device with you to have it tuned up, please do that. Numbers are changing dramatically. It was real easy for us when we had 100 people at the event and 10 of them brought a machine to be repaired or updated, and we could handle that during the event. But all of a sudden, when we have 400 and potentially 500 folks at an event, and you get a bunch of machines or several machines that somebody wants to upgrade or change, it gets a little overwhelming. So we just want to be straight up with you in that type of situation. Hey, Nola, thanks for hopping on. Appreciate it. Can we participate in any of the going-ons at MagnaCon virtually? Well, certainly you'll be able to participate in the speaking, in the speaker sessions to see what they're talking about. Post your questions. You'll be able to participate through Whova, through the app, that WHOVA app, and keep up with exactly what's going on through the app and participate in that fashion with questions answered, contests, and so forth. So there are ways to do that, and we'll be getting into more of that as we go along. Let's see. Continuing, let's see. Hello, coming in late. Yeah, okay. Alane. Let's see, are we able to drop? Oh, I already did that. We'll drop off the machine. So if you have a question, put it in there. We'll be happy to get it answered for you. Let's see, nothing in the phone line. I don't guess anybody wants to talk to me. That's okay. I'll be here as long as you're putting questions on there or something for us to talk about. I'll stay right here and we'll visit and have a good day and build up some good content. There's a lot of content and this is searchable, and they post it on YouTube, and so where you can go in and they have it's time stamped, so you can see the part of the program that you maybe want to see the question, or if there's an interesting question that you see, you can go to that section of the video and get the answer you want in the amount of time that you have to spend with us to get that answer. Okay. Is the itinerary posted for MagnaCon? Leilani, I know they're meeting weekly and daily to arrange the speakers, when they're going to be on, and then I all of a sudden change something, and that changes their schedule. So they're working to get the schedule in place. I figure that certainly in the next couple, 2-3 weeks, it'll be pretty well nailed down that they can be able to provide the itinerary for exactly what will be going on. But I do know that they're in the process, and I made a change Friday and was informed that we needed to do some rearranging in order to get this doctor spot on the agenda. So, wow. And we've had some great shows, and there's some great things happening in the exotic animal world and the Western world with the bull riding and the rodeos and that kind of stuff. It's just a lot of things happening, and we're working to bring that information to you. I have a Julian Duo. I have a dog laying on the energy mat. Can I simultaneously use the loop on the dog? Most certainly. If you got the dog laying on the mat and you want to treat his paws, or you got the dog laying on the mat and you want to treat his head area, or you want to treat a particular area on the hock, or whatever you want to do on the leg of the animal, you can certainly do that. Use them both together. And it's just a matter of just applying it, make sure the animal is comfortable, and you can do that. So certainly would encourage that. If you have questions about maybe what you might want to do, you contact the office, talk to Carson or Teresa in training, and they can direct you to potentially some videos or give you some insights as to how you might want to best apply and utilize multiple attachments when you're using the Julian Duo. I know that we're using it in NASCAR now at Richard Childress Racing has got a machine that they're using. And primarily, it's interesting. For years, I kept thinking, well, I want to work with NASCAR people and I want to do this. And of course, I'm thinking drivers. Well, the drivers are a different group of people. They pretty much do their own thing. They have their personal trainers. That's not to say that we aren't going to work with drivers. We certainly are. But once I got the meeting with the race team and seeing what was going on, it's the pit crew that the people that handle the heavy work, if you will, the heavy work of, not that the driving is not heavy, but you know what I'm saying, the people moving the tires, jumping over the wall, doing all this stuff, handling that big gas can that they fuel the cars with. They're the ones that are like the severe football, baseball type of athletes that twist their ankles and twist their backs and need to help recover more rapidly and so forth. And so we're working deeper into those areas for wellness and pain relief in many cases with the pit crews, and the Aura side of the house is trying to help with that. And it's exciting to see that kind of stuff happening. But at any rate, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of doors opening for everyone. And so we want to help and let you know all about that. Okay. Let's see. I'm getting my Soul Pro, yay. Paying for half today and financing the rest. My Simi 3 paid for itself and then some. There you go, Nola. That's wonderful. That's the plan. That's what happened to me when I got my first machine. Is I was just amazed that it was going as well as it did, and I was able to handle it nicely. It worked out very well. Is it redundant to massage and use PEMF at the same time at the location of concern? No, I wouldn't say it's redundant. I would say it's very complementary if you wanted to do some hand work in an area where you have a coil, or if you want to use the large wings and you put them over the hip and you want to do some hand work into that area at the same time. I think that's a great aspect. If you're a massage therapist and you know where you're going with your hands and what's happening there, be a great way to have some complementary efforts between the PEMF and the massage. Now, some people, I know in the beginning there were chiropractors, and I was talking with someone about this yesterday, had a chiropractor couple where the gentleman would MagnaWave the horses for 10, 12 minutes before his wife would do the manipulation and the adjustment. Then he would come back afterwards and do another balance of his session for 15 minutes or so, 15 or 20 minutes, to help get rid of the inflammation that the animal had and provide comfort. The first go around was to loosen up the horse and make it be more easily to manipulate. The second go around after the manipulation or the chiropractic treatment was to help get inflammation out, make it comfortable, and go on. Just because you massage something or you manipulate something doesn't mean that you've relieved all the inflammation that's there. You've got things aligned how they're supposed to be, and you want them to be. Now you want to do something to help it last longer, to help the comfort be there so the animal doesn't go right back out and get on the ground and throw itself out of whack again. So you want to work in that fashion, and that's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it, if you want to, I know people thump, they use these vibrating thumpers, and they'll be treating and doing that at the same time just to get, you're massaging the area, and then you come back physically with your hands or a device in conjunction. We do that with the LZR. You'll treat an area, then you come back and use the MagnaWave to get very deep, get good penetration, and to help the situations in that fashion. So there you go. Hello from Wisconsin, Bridget. It's nice to. I wish I could see you, but it's nice to be on with you, Bridget. That's always fun. Rebecca's with us from New York. I'll be in New York, I think, the 13th and 14th of May, meeting with Dr. Bard, having an exam, and going to. He's getting an award at the Statue of Liberty on the 14th for outstanding contribution to New York medicine, and from an international and a national scope. So I'm excited about doing that. Let's see. How do you treat a pulled hamstring on a person at the point of the butt? I treated the agility competitor by putting the butterfly against the spot, had her hold the loop at the spot, not sit on the loop. Should I have done anything different? I'm a new practitioner. Well, you're in the area. You could use the butterfly. You could use what some team players do that we've worked with the NFL. They'll use the mat, or they'll use the large loop and kind of cover that area of the leg. And sometimes they start lower for the first few treatments, and then they begin to increase the energy as they're going along. The important thing is to get to the area as rapidly as you can when that type of injury occurs, to keep things from tightening up and getting too inflamed. You want to get there as soon as you can in those areas, and then just begin to treat. You'll know where the areas are. And, again, you don't have to be right on it. You can treat the buttocks area, or you could do that, and you're going to help that area as well with the blood flow that you're putting into that area. So great question. You sound like you're right on track with it. Just be consistent in what you're doing. And again, with the hamstring, I've learned from some of the trainers that I've talked with, they start a little lower and build. They don't go in there with a lot of energy at the get-go. They'll start low and slow and build from there. What's the most amazing story you have while using MagnaWave machines? Sydney asks. Well, let me think about that for a minute. Let's see. Bridget, knee replacement. Okay, Bridget writes, and I'm coming back to your question, Sydney. Knee replacement going well. MagnaWave twice a day. Layering with robotic laser every other day. Okay. Almost no bruising. Keeping tissues soft and stronger than doctor and PT would have expected. That's good. MagnaWave is an asset for sure. Midweek 5 post-surgery. Well, that's great. Thanks for the update, Bridget. And we know that it's been very beneficial for people that are having those types of situations. So we just go and select Friday, June 10th. Is it the Mary Miller event? No, I would not say it's the Mary Miller event. Emily, Tony, perhaps somebody can clear up her question about the boat trip. I'm sure that's her question. Okay, what is the most amazing story while you have using a MagnaWave machine? Amazing story. Well, there's a bunch of them. I've got, my own personal story. I would say, and you've all probably heard me say that I need to think about that, and maybe over the next week I can kind of pursue that a little bit, so I can be much, because there are a bunch. There's a bunch of things that I personally experienced. There's a bunch of things that some of the stories that people have shared about what it does. And I guess, one that was interesting, we were in New York. We were in Connecticut. We were at Dr. Marty's. Debbie and I had gone and went up there, took the coach, and went to visit Dr. Marty for a few days. And he had a photographer, a very well-known national photographer with a gallery in New York and all this kind of stuff. And he photographs Madonna and the stars. And so it's amazing the stuff that he does. Well, he had 2 huge Great Danes. And he had been to one veterinarian who had told him that the one dog for sure needed surgery. And I forget what it was. It was because of the size and the development going on. It was going to be like a $5,000 or $6,000 deal for the surgery on this Great Dane. And then the situation was, now you got to carry it in and out for 6 weeks, and you got to do this, and you can't let it stress that. And then, by the way, you're going to have to do the other leg. And so I was in the office, and I had my machine, and Marty was there, and Marty called me in and said, talk to Stephen here and tell him what we might be able to do. And we explained it to him, and Marty and I are sitting there, and we treat this dog, and the dog stood right up and walked normally and didn't experience any issue. And at that juncture, now we didn't reverse it. We didn't anticipate reversing it in that one 15-minute session, but everybody was amazed. This person had come to Dr. Marty for a second opinion. And he was also a horse person, lived up in the Hamptons. And so he ultimately, we got him a machine immediately, and he treated his dog, and he was able to avoid surgery totally and treat both hips of that particular animal. And then he began treating his other one, because what happens to one quite often happens to another. Now, that's not to say that surgery would never be required or something like that, but if you get it at the right time and you get on top of it and you keep the blood flowing and the inflammation down and the animal to where it can move, a lot of times you get results like that and so that was very amazing for me that particular day, because we had this gentleman sitting there who was extremely skeptical, and I'm here for a second opinion, and I got money, but I don't want to spend any more than I have to, and it was just right there. And I guess the next one I would say is when we were working with horses, and we went to an anti-aging conference in Orlando, and my wife had fallen on the ice and couldn't raise her arm. You've heard my story above here. And they said, we'd like to have a volunteer. And she looked at me and did one of these and says, I'm going, they're not gonna be able to help me. And she sat down in the chair. 8 minutes later, stood up, total mobility, no pain. And that's how we got into this business. And it just went from that day forward. She didn't get total relief immediately. It took us months of working on her to get it to where she could get a month or two worth of relief from 1 or 2 treatments. And so that was fantastic. And she's been that way now for almost 20 years. That she and I apologize for being redundant, but if you're seeing this for the first time, it's not redundant. She goes to see the doctor, and they look at her back, and they do an x-ray, and they say, my God, how did you walk in here? We got to do something to you. And she says, what's the problem? I don't have any pain, because I don't have any inflammation in those areas. And so that's some stuff that we're working on there. And that was exciting. That was probably it was the thing that got us into the business. And on the way to Orlando, we were talking, and we thought, well, we're okay, and we're selling other magnetic equipment, and everything's all right. So we don't know if we need to really do anything additional. And on the way out to the car after the last day of the event, she said, I hope you liked it, because I bought one of those things, and we're going to start doing this. And that's really how things kind of shook out, and we got started. So then there's there's just a bunch of them. So I really I'll think about that further. And if you had some things like that, perhaps we could visit on a call on here or whatever. Let's see. Washington, calling from Washington. I have an elderly client that has pain in her low back. I treated her one time, and the next day had increased pain. Any suggestions what to do next? Well, elderly is a key there, because people aren't going to necessarily know where the pain is originating from. Or the animal's difficult to tell on the animal where the referral pain is coming from in those types of situations. And so anytime I would do in that type of situation, low and slow, certainly for starters, make sure you're not concentrating on one spot. You want to get a larger area. What you can do, what I've done on some folks or people who just want the general well-being of what we're doing, is I treat not necessarily, I treat adjacent to the area that they're talking about, because you'll get the blood flow to all areas. And so there's ways to stimulate the wellness in those types of situations. And sometimes when you get into a situation like that, you need to be better. There's going to be a little discomfort before the good comfort comes along. And I'll go back to my when I first began, and I had the opportunity, some jockeys wanted to feel better and to approach it from a wellness standpoint, and I would treat their low back, and they'd come back the next day in pain in their shoulders, and saying, what's going on? Well, they always had pain there. You recognize basically one pain at a time, so you got to figure out where that's at. Is the client in pain in the same location? Is it a referred pain from someplace else that you didn't really get to? And sometimes people will loosen up and they go do some things, so all of a sudden they're not, because you treat somebody or you treat an animal, you want to, you don't, even though we treat and they go compete immediately, in many cases, treat, let them relax, give them a day or so to get in place. When we first started, we treated and asked them to ride immediately. And I still do that if we're doing a demo on a horse. the owner should be there, the trainer should be there, they should watch the treatment, and then they should work the horse so they can see the difference that was attained. Now, as we went on and grew and learned, we became more recovery based. So let's treat the animal after the event to help them recover, help them be ready to then start working on the next event or working on their exercise patterns that we're developing with them. So yes, you can treat an animal to jump higher and have be more fluid immediately, or you can treat the animal after the event and allow it to recover and to be prepared for the event the next time down the road. Two different mindsets, and we started in one, performance, and then we moved to the other one, recovery and well-being, and that's really where the difference became, to where people would understand what it can do and what it can bring to them with regard to their animals. Is MagnaWave considering a hand thermal machine to see inflammation areas? If you talk about a thermography, photograph, Leilani, or a device that will be able to see what's going on. Interestingly enough, we're working with Dr. Bard in New York at the Bard Cancer Clinic, and we're using ultrasound, an ultrasound, handheld ultrasound unit, pre-treatment and then post-treatment, to be able to see what was accomplished during the treatment, to see how the inflammation has changed and so forth, as he works to implement and do some pre-studies on utilizing PEMF in his practice and in various ways of doing that. We're talking with I'm probably not at liberty to say at this point, but one of the most prestigious, largest hospitals in the country has reached out to us with some results that they've experienced, to put together a study dealing in the area of breast cancer. And so we're working with them on the protocols that will be applied for that, and hopefully put together a full-blown study with an IRB that could be very beneficial to the whole thing. So again, a lot of things happening in that area. Let's see. Did I get off? I get off track sometimes. I get talking and I forget where I'm going. Looking for a device to treat hyperthyroidism in a cat with MagnaWave. Well, looking for advice. Treat the thyroid area of the cat. I would treat it very low to begin with. Certainly talk to your veterinarian as to what you're doing, so they can talk about any medications that they're giving the animal for the hypothyroidism. But again, what you're wanting to do is improve the cellular health, the blood flow to those areas, so the thyroid could be in the best position that it can be to operate properly. And so you want to work closely with your veterinarian on the medications they're applying, and how the circulation and the blood flow can be beneficial to the animal as you're going forward. Great question, and I hope that helps. I have a MagnaWave Julian single. I have lost my job and I can no longer keep my machine. My machine is 1.5 years old, less than 50 hours on it. Please contact me, Diana, she puts a number on there. So Diana, I'm so sad that things aren't going the way you want them to with your job, and talk to some folks. Maybe there's a way to make some money more effectively with your MagnaWave. But I'm not trying to tell you what to do or how to do it. You can call the office and they can provide you with some information and perhaps some help as to what would be a path for you to take. Perhaps some practitioners may reach out to you. You put your number there to help you out in some fashion. So again, Diana, any way we can help, we certainly want to do that. So sorry for where you are, but again, we want to try to help you any way we can. Okay, folks, if you have any other questions, please put them in the chat box. Wow, we're out of time. What a day. I looked at it a while ago and I said, my, you still got 30 or 40 minutes to go, and now I've got a minute to go. So get your tickets for MagnaCon. We look forward to seeing you there. We're going to have a great time. A lot of things going on. We'll be able to give you more information about all this stuff that's happening and bring you up to speed and help you build your business and to be successful with MagnaWave. So as always, wave on to better health and go all the way with MagnaWave and search for your aura and be successful. Wait a minute. Let's see. Here's the catch. When stock pulls in, that's a long one I got to get into. Don't have time. So, Vivian, I'll get to that question. Take a look at it and have it for you next time. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.